What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Packers Rookie Preview. I am your host, Tyler Brook. Today, going over 7th round pick, running back Lew Nichols III out of Central Michigan. Going to be a tough one, trying to make that roster behind the likes of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Before we get into the bio and go over the film, just want to remind you, 1,000 subscriber giveaway is still going on. $100 NFL Shop gift card, a copy of my book, The Science of Football. Pretty easy. Just subscribe to this. Follow the directions in the description below. Pretty straightforward on how to do that. Once we hit 900 subscribers, we're going to announce a way for you to have a second entry if you want to double your chances at that giveaway. Pretty straightforward. So thank you for everyone who subscribed so far. We're well on our way to that goal. It's been going very quickly. So, ideally have that by at the end of the month at the latest. So again, make sure you're telling everyone to subscribe so we can get to those milestones. Why don't we go ahead and get right into it, though? Talk about Lew Nichols, the 7th round running back out of Central Michigan. So from a production standpoint at Central Michigan, a very impressive player. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of athletic testing. He did not qualify for a relative athletic score. But of the measurables we got, a little under 5'10" at 222 pounds. The two drills that he did have tested well, 37-inch vertical, 22 bench press reps. From a production standpoint, he burst onto the scene in 2020 as the MAC Freshman of the Year, came right back the next year and won Offensive Player of the Year in the MAC Conference. Over his career, over 3,000 rushing yards, 29 total touchdowns. Even after, we'll talk about it, he had a disappointing 2022 season. Unfortunately, that's all of the film we have to show you. He still averaged over 5 yards a carry in his career. So why don't we go ahead and get into the film from 2020, show you guys what could potentially help Nichols make the 53-man roster and what he still needs to work on. So we've got 3 games of film for you to show over Nichols against Ball State, Oklahoma State, and Toledo. I'll be honest, just to get it out of the way, I was a little disappointed with the 2022 film. Was kind of hoping for a little bit more. I know he had a really productive 2020 and 2021 seasons. Unfortunately, I just don't have the tape to watch on those. That being said, if he is going to make the 53-man roster as a 7th round pick and not be a practice squad guy and just be like a solidified RB3, he's got to be able to help in pass protection. And oh, buddy, that is something he can absolutely do. So why don't we go ahead? Unfortunately, I clipped this a little funky, so there will be another Pass Pro clip later in this video. Just keep an eye on it. That was just an error on myself cutting up these clips. But we'll start here. He's picking up this little delayed twist here. So keep an eye on the delayed blitzer, or sorry, 36. So 97's going this way. He's looping around. Now the center does a nice job trading off, but clearly what you want from Nichols is to help pick that up as well. And you can just see, what I appreciate is he knows when to strike. He's not passive with his pass protection, so that he can get, you can get the guy off balance. So that's one of the biggest things you have to teach running backs in Pass Pro. Worked with running backs a little bit last year. You got to teach them, you're not catching the guy. Pass Pro isn't passive, especially as a running back. Typically in protection schemes, you're picking up the free rusher. If you're just sitting there waiting to catch him, you're going to get bulldozed. The rusher is going to get in the face, get in the legs of the quarterback. It's going to be ugly. So you got to force the issue. So I appreciate he does that. And this next clip we're about to see, this might be my favorite play of the entire clip. But watch here. He's just going to come right at this rusher right here, who is not prepared for what's about to happen. You want to talk about a chip block. Holy crap. He just destroys that guy. I can't stop watching it. Talk about helping out your tackle. Holy crap. And then beyond that chip, he gets the check down and gets, 5-7 yards out of it. So we'll take it. That if you can put plays up like that in the preseason, that's going to help you either make the 53-man roster or the practice squad. Coaches love to see a guy helping out his teammates in Pass Pro like that. Where he succeeds, I feel like, as a runner, he's not the most athletic. He's not the most explosive. Play strength, I think, is a concern. Contact balancing. We'll get into some of those later. But he does have a good feel of how to set up his blockers, particularly on like outside zone concepts. So here what's going to happen, they're all trying to reach and get designated, blockers. They're really trying to go out there and hit those blocks. So what the running back's job is, he's got the ball right here. He's reading these two blockers, trying to see. It's a drill that you'll run even at the high school level. If this defender is going this way, I'm going out here. But if he's going this way, I'm cutting inside. So he does a good job of reading these. So what he notices here, both these defenders going outside. So where should he be going? He should be cutting this back inside. And he reads that well. Again, not the most elusive, doesn't shift well. I would like to see him stay upright after that cut. But I like that he can read those blockers and know how to set that up on outside zone. It is a feel thing for running backs, especially. You just got to rep the crap out of that. If you don't run a ton of outside zone, don't run a lot on the perimeter, you run a lot of gap scheme inside, it can be hard instead of just attacking straight downhill, trying to find where the crease is. So that was a nice play there. And he does a really nice job of that on the back sides as well. So what we're going to do here, it's kind of a split zone concept, if I recall, from when I was watching this. So everyone else is down blocking away. These are going to look terrible. But, point stands, they're all blocking to their right. And then the tight end's coming across the formation to kick out this backside guy. And what I appreciate of Nichols, he has a good feel, like clearly. And I will say this, his offensive line did him no favors last year. It was rough to watch a lot of this film. There are too many guys in the backfield for him. What I appreciate here, not generating much push on the line, but this tight end's able to get sealed off. So he reads the backside tight end and cuts this back, which is a good feel for picking that up, because that's a tough one to see, especially when you're supposed to be going across the formation. Another one similar. This tight end's just head up on this guy, but again, it's a kind of an inside zone concept, and he reads the tight end and cuts it back in. So again, you can see it there, cuts it back, finds a little crease, picks up some yards. So he has a good feel for those for sure. And then I think his vision's inconsistent at times, but I think he does a good job of taking what defenses are giving him when they're being undisciplined. And I would say this defensive end just off the screen's being pretty undisciplined here. He's flying too far upfield to engage with that tackle. So by the time this guy sets and blocks him off, and then you're getting this kick out, you have a huge rushing lane right about there. And you're going to see it. He gets engaged. This defensive end's too worried about, a pass rush rep when it's not a pass rush. And then Nichols sees that. Look at that rushing lane. As a running back, you're not going to get many better holes than that. And he takes advantage of it, has enough speed to get past that linebacker. Nice little gain there. I appreciate that. Another one here. He reacts to the hole opening up. And then he takes advantage. And I think this is a good rep by the tight end climbing. So this tight end sealing this guy off. This one's kind of settling and climbing and then kicking out who's coming his way. So they do a nice job here really creating that hole as well. But Nichols sees it and then just takes off. And, another nice gain. And then, for a 220-pound guy, you want to see some play strength. There are a couple reps on here where, he's wrapped up, but he continues to move the pile. And, from a bigger back, you definitely want that. You want reps of that on film, chugging along, even if it's a couple extra yards. All those yards matter in a game of football. So I appreciate that he's willing to stay up, keep moving that pile. And then here's that pass rush rep. I said cut this a little poorly, just missed this one on grouping it with the other pass pro reps. But just another example, you can see him, number 7, right there, that he's not going to sit and catch the rusher, number 40, who's, I think he's feigning. He's feigning play side A gap, B gap. He's feigning here, and then he's cutting across. And I think Nichols does a nice job of picking that up, recognizing it, and then, again, he's not waiting to catch the guy. He's forcing the issue. He's attacking him right there. Attacking him, steering him away to help keep the pocket clean. So, again, I really appreciate the pass pro reps. He shows those on film. That will help him big time with roster spots. Cannot emphasize that enough. If you're the running back that's not expected to get a ton of carries, the very least you can do is show ability as a pass catcher and a pass protection guy. So I'm impressed with that. And then we're running a little counter here. And just another example, him fighting to move the pile, offensive line helping out. He's staying upright. Want to see more reps of that. But yeah, just a little simple counter. They don't run a ton of gap scheme with him, and when they do, it's a little disappointing, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But he has the size that he should be able to do it. And then here, just a little playmaking after the catch. I like that he lowers his shoulder there through contact and is able to stay upright after the catch. Got to have some pass catching ability. He shows it at times on the film. He can make plays. He's not like a main target out of the backfield, but they are willing to do it. And then last one here. This is probably my favorite run I saw in the film. It is a little insert block from this tight end. So, you're trying to, if I'm correct. Yep. So let me get this set up. Here we go. So 66 is trying to, kind of get here, turn, and steer this out. This center is trying to climb, and then 83 is trying to get in between them and ideally kick this guy out. So I like this concept a lot too, but I just like the way Nichols attacks the hole he knows is coming. He's not immediately running after the handoff. He's letting it get set up, and then as soon as the center can seal this off and 83 can seal this off, he's off for the races. Makes a guy, miss, trip over his feet, touchdown. Probably my favorite run of the film I have on him. There are some flashes. Again, I think it's just he's a limited athlete. And again, we're talking about a 7th-round pick. I'm not trying to crap all over the guy because, like I said, there's a lot of that good that can potentially help him make a 53-man roster practice squad. But there's some stuff he definitely needs to work on. And yeah, like for a 222-pound running back, was a little disappointed on stuff like this. Obviously, this is a heavy box. It's 3rd and short. They're just trying to run it up the gut. What I want to see from Nichols here on a short yardage situation, don't hesitate. Hesitating is a killer in a loaded box. Just attack straight ahead. Give me whatever you can get. Just attack straight on. Instead, here, if he just is moving like a bowling ball, even if he gets tripped up, I think he can get 2 yards there. But instead, he's hesitating. He's trying to bounce outside, and he gets tackled in the backfield. So I'm pretty disappointed by that. On those short yard situations, you just have to lower your shoulders and you just try and bowl through there, especially, again, as a bigger back. Want to see more of that, but it just didn't show up. Another example, just a lot of this is just contact balance or, finding ways to get skinny. I'm just disappointed at how easy it is for him to go down. Like, I would like to see him at least fight through that arm tackle, just... That one's a little nitpicky, but some of these other ones are pretty brutal as far as staying up. This, they're running he's trying to bounce it outside. That's something that he tends to have a bad habit of, is wanting to bounce things outside when he doesn't need to. Because, here, he's pressing that hole. He's waiting for this defensive back to commit, and it looks like he's favoring committing that way. So what Nichols needs to do is cut up here. Maybe the center is going to do him some favors and he can cut up back here, but he just wants to bounce it out. Oh, yeah, you can definitely see if he was cutting it back where we had it earlier. His center is winning that matchup, and he could have cut off his back for a play, but he is instead trying to bounce that out. And I apologize. It looks like that was it was the center. But just not what you want to see. It looks like he realizes it's too late that he needs to cut it back upfield, and then he just gets wrapped up. That's unfortunate. Here, that's too easy to go down. You got to kick your feet up. I know you're getting tripped up a little bit, but that's too easy of you going down. I would like, especially just like on, what is that? Like one arm. One arm shouldn't bring you down like that as a running back. You should be a little more physical than that at that size. And it just shows up too much. Here, I appreciate this time. I'm okay with him bouncing out. There's clearly a guy in that hole, but just too easily tripped up. If you're going to be a bigger back, you need to have some kind of contact balance, be able to shake off those weak arm tackle attempts. And it's just too often that he's not able to, and it's very frustrating to see on film. Here again, just they're tackling so low at him, but not like really swiping at his feet, just a quick wrap up. I want to see more leg drive. I want to see him kick those knees up to his chest. It would help dramatically with trying to get out of these weaker tackle attempts. He's just really not able to shake them. It's very frustrating to watch on film. Here we got a little wildcat action. And that's the other problem. At a 222 running back, he's not punishing enough. You know, if you're not going to have the contact balance, at least run through guys. But more often than not, he's kind of the one getting stuck. I mean, what I'm assuming is a cornerback should not be able to lay you out like that after engaging with a block. I would like to see some more play strength there, so that's a little unfortunate. And then as a pass catcher, I don't think he's that bad. I think as a third down back, he has some value with the pass protection and ability to catch outside, like, you know, catch the ball if needed to get out of the backfield. But when it comes to catching through traffic, just a little unfortunate. That's all we got on Nichols. I think as far as role, it's likely going to be a practice squad guy. You know, there is a crowded backfield at the time. You know, likely only going to keep 3 running backs. Jones and Dillon are, you know, almost certainly going to be on that roster. And then you've got a competition between Nichols and then Patrick Taylor, who's been the established RB3, and then undrafted free agent Tyler Goodson last year out of Iowa, who showed some flashes in the preseason. My guess is practice squad. I think he'll need to improve a bit from at least the 2022 film that I saw to have a real shot at that roster. But, you know, that's all we got. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and enter into that giveaway. We'll be back next week. 2 videos, Tuesday and Thursday on, oh my gosh, Anthony Johnson Jr., the safety out of Iowa State, and then Grant DuBose, the wide receiver of Charlotte. Guy I've not watched yet. Very excited to watch some of him. But, you know, we're nearing the end of the Packers rookie preview. Thank you to everyone that's been following along. We'll see you next time.